What's up, everybody? Monday morning. It's actually a holiday here in Sydney, Australia, so there's not many people at work, but we never sleep at Unity Gym. You guys know that. And we never stop. We've got Richie the Rig Lellies here, and today we're going to be talking about strength and flexibility reinvented. What does that mean for you? What does that mean for our tribe? I'm very excited about today's show. Of course, today is sponsored by the UMS app. It launched on Friday. Very, very exciting times. We've got over 100 people who have already joined up to get one of our legacy memberships where you get over 1100 bucks USD of additional value uploaded, preloaded in the app. What does that mean? You get our three most popular skills masterclasses for handstand, press to handstand, and muscle up. They're incredible programs. They've unlocked those skills for thousands of people around the world already. You also get our six revolutionary UMS rehab programs for every major joint in the body, preemptively providing a program that is partnered with the physios that we've worked with over the years to give you a really, really good solution for anything that could happen in the gym or anything that's happened in your past that you want to overcome once and for all, like shoulders, forearm and elbow, knee, lower back. They're really, really good programs, and they've widely been adopted by some of the world's best physiotherapists and physical therapists around the world because they just get amazing results. Each of those programs have multiple phases to help progressively overload you. And that's very important and a great segue into today's discussion because we're going to be talking about why the UMS, why we're different to other programs, and what's behind the results we get. What are the UMS principles? A lot of people have asked. This show comes directly from my inbox being filled with questions over the weekend. And we've had a bit of a mix, really, of great questions, really high level, high quality questions. It's really cool to see you guys thinking and really thinking about the right things, asking the right type of questions, and also a hell of a lot of praise. Lots and lots of praise. Like we got a review here overnight from Laurie. This is a Google review. The new app is amazing for busy people. She says so unreasonably priced, referring to it being too low, and such rapid changes in the body. In only 9 days, all of my friends started to notice I was getting thinner. Amazing. Rad and Yanni, Richie are truly dedicated to helping others reach new goals in fitness and life. Amazing, amazing, amazing. It's pretty amazing what results you can get when you combine a good exercise program with the fundamental strength and conditioning principles that have stood the test of time. Nothing too fancy, but also something that's enough to get people really engaged. We had another raving fan review come in over the weekend from someone who's really struggled to exercise for long periods of time. And that's obviously key to getting a good result. You know, you need to be consistent for long enough. And this person, I don't know if I can find it. It's in the UMS Movement Mastermind group, and I'll quickly just have a rip through and see. I think it was in response to one of Rad's videos or posts. Oh man, he's posted a list here of people who have jumped on the app already. Amazing, 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 amazing. Let's see here. Let's see if I can find the post. I don't think I'm going to find it. I think it's just going to waste everyone's time. Anyway, the gist of it was really cool. You know, it was someone sharing that they had never found a program that they had actually stuck to for long enough. They just don't find it inspiring. They don't find it motivating until they found UMS, and you know that's super important. It's really important to have a program that works. It's really important to marry that with a nutrition intervention that works, but then also have an accountability system, which we call our triple tiered accountability system. And this is not what I want to talk about today, but I just want to highlight it, which really engages people and keeps people coming back. So very, very important. All right, Richie, how are you? In case we haven't met, of course, I've got Richie the Rig Lellies, head coach to Unity Gym and Unify Movement System with me. He's the man behind the meal plans. We've got done for your meal plans being uploaded in the coming weeks. They're just getting post produced now that are going to be amazing. They, of course, go with the Nutrition Academy, which is a 70-page document that I wrote. It's a third of a book that we're writing for Unity Gym. It's the nutrition component, and it chronicles my journeys and battles with things like parasites that I picked up traveling around the world that have affected my digestive system and digestive health. Talks about all sorts of stuff, my experiences with time restricted eating, intermittent fasting, Nobel Prize winning research studies about autophagy and cellular healing, all sorts of cool stuff. And of course, it gives you the nutrition fundamentals. So you learn how to create your ideal diets. And if you don't want that, you can just follow the done for you meal plans. How good's that? And this is part of what's behind our success. Okay. And this is where I want to steer the conversation. First of all, how are you, Richie?
Right? Always good.
Always
Be back
good.
in it
Ready to
this
go.
weekend. Yep, it's
Richie's
a
two
public
days away
holiday
from.
here in Australia, but that's all right. I'm okay to work on my public holiday.
There's so many benefits to running an online business, but one of them is that one of the benefits is that we're currently coaching on last count people from 17 countries around the world. The downside to that is that there's someone always needing support and training, and someone always hitting the gym and training,
Yep,
and
that's right.
because the time zones overlap, of course, and so if we get a holiday here in Australia, it doesn't necessarily mean that everyone else around the world, all of our tribe, are on holiday. So it's a small price to pay. It's a small price to pay to have the opportunity to work with so many amazing people, and we love it, don't we, Rich? We love it.
Sure do. Sure
All
do.
right. So, what I want to do today, I wrote a piece yesterday, and of course, I'm taking this straight. I'm literally going to expand on parts of our website. If you want to bring up our homepage, Rich, where you guys can jump over and sign up to the app if you're interested. This is, of course, unitygym.com, www.unitygym.com. There's links everywhere in the YouTube channel. We're going to put some new links up on the Movement Mastermind group. Of course, we're streaming there live too. But if Richie scroll, that's of course Richie the Rig right there. That's why we call him the Rig. If you scroll down to the FAQs, that's where I'm pulling what I'm talking about here. And this was really important for us because we wanted to really make it clear why UMS, why the Unified Movement System. And the point is, we know, tomorrow I'm writing a piece on what you get when you pay $1.75 a day to be coached by us. And that's a huge expanded deep dive into everything, every single component. But one of the first things that you get is access to a panel of experts with an accumulated 70 plus years skin in the game, coaching people, treating people as physical therapists, practitioners, strength and conditioning coaches, and personal trainers, myself, Rad, and Richie. And that is incredibly powerful. And together collectively, we know that elite athletic performance requires overcoming weak links in your body whilst maximizing your strength, flexibility, and fitness. You need to develop high levels in all three of those attributes if you want to create the platform that you can deploy into a sport or just generally in life. Unfortunately, other popular programs boast quick 20 to 30-minute workouts, and we know that that's not enough time to get the volume you need to make remarkable improvements in all three of those attributes. So, unfortunately, other coaches make unnecessary sacrifices, and it is usually always in flexibility. How often have you seen a great program that develops strength and fitness but fails to deliver high levels of flexibility and mobility? And we all know what happens there. One, it limits performance. It limits performance because you can never train your joints through full range of motion safely. And you put unnecessary wear and tear on your joints and expose yourself to higher rates of injury. I know this firsthand. I had a brutal soccer injury playing Division 3 soccer years ago and had my knee dislocated. I went in for a tackle. My knee didn't, my hamstrings weren't flexible enough for what I asked them to do. I got stuck. And yeah, the knee just popped out sideways. It was horrible. Did my ACL, my MCL, and my meniscus got torn, and had to have quite an extensive knee reconstructive surgery done. And yeah, it sucks. And it really highlighted to me that I needed to work on my flexibility. I was strong, I was fast, but when I asked my body to go into a really extreme range of movement, it wasn't capable of doing it under load, and something gave way. And so, you know, this is something that we really need to make sure that you guys understand. We will always say, of course, anything is better than nothing. But volume matters most when you're trying to develop strength, flexibility, and fitness. We know through a plethora of good research that you need multiple sets on the same muscle group with enough adequate recovery, irrespective of whether you're trying to develop strength or flexibility, to get noteworthy results. And if you want to get noteworthy results in all three of those attributes, there is absolutely no way you can do that in 20 or 30 minutes. It's just not going to happen. So the UMS workouts are 60 minutes long, and we have no problem admitting that. But in that 60 minutes, we develop extremely high levels of all three of those attributes for elite level athletic performance: strength, flexibility, and fitness. It's all done. It's all taken care of. And that means that you don't have to sacrifice anything every time you train. That means that every single time you turn up to the gym or you do your home workout, and I'll get to that in a minute, you are going to develop those three attributes. And what happens there is something really special. You start to become more of a balanced athlete. You start to become more of an all round balanced athlete. You have athletic performance in strength, you have athletic performance in flexibility, and you have athletic performance in fitness. And that's something that I, in my 20 years as a personal trainer, have never really seen done well outside of the UMS. That's what Richard, Rad, and myself have put our life's work into developing. And we can't take credit for all of it because we've adopted, and I'll talk about this in a sec, the most traditional and sort of important and I guess key strength and conditioning principles along the way. And we've had influence from some of the greatest strength coaches and personal trainers in the world. We're lucky to call a lot of them our friends, and same with physiotherapists. So we're very lucky. But that's what you get. You get exposure to that knowledge and accumulated experience. Now, we say here, remarkably, through countless case studies, and this is really important, we've proven that we can do it with or without gym equipment. Of course, Richard and I prefer to use gym equipment, and if we were to make a recommendation, if you ask me what's better, the gym program or the home program, I'd probably always err on the side of encouraging you to go and join the gym and get access to free weights, barbells, dumbbells, kettlebells. But if you don't have it, and we understand you don't, and really this came about during the COVID lockdowns when everyone lost access to their gym, that's when we went to work releasing a home workout program that would still produce our gym members at Unity Gym a comparable result to what they were used to already. And we were actually really surprised to see that they didn't go backwards at all. Some of them even progressed in their skill attributes: strength, flexibility, and fitness, which really shocked me, to be completely honest. Using just their body weight, they all developed the same, or in some cases, better results. Which was really quite surprising. Even Rad, who was really bitter initially about having to do those workouts, produced incredible results in his own body. So, why did that happen? And this is really important. This is where we'll segue into what's behind the results and what are the UMS principles. And the fact is, we don't reinvent the wheel here. We've adopted and followed the three traditional strength and conditioning principles, which are progressive overload, supercompensation, and program periodization. And I'll explain very briefly what they mean. But the point is that it's really important at this stage, when you're building programs or adopting a workout routine, that you keep things simple and traditional. You don't try to do things too fancy, because fancy generally means it's very hard to progress. And when you can't progress it using what's referred to in strength and conditioning or sports exercise science, progressive overload, you won't get a good result. Initially, you might, because you've gone from doing nothing to something. But over time, if you have a longer term time frame and you want to achieve something noteworthy, you actually want to be able to take what you do out onto the football field or the soccer field or whatever you perform in martial arts, then you're going to need to take it far beyond that initial result of just starting something. So what are these progressive overload principles? What are these strength and conditioning principles? Very, very summarized. Progressive overload meaning to manipulate the loading variables: reps, sets, time under tension, tempo, recovery, intraset, and outside the workouts are really the main ones. And of course, the load, how much you lift, how much you move. To manipulate the loading variables to gradually increase the program difficulty so your body constantly adapts. That is really the key to exercising. And it doesn't matter whether you're doing strength, flexibility, or fitness, all of those attributes will need progressive overload. Uh, and a lot and very quickly on this, a lot of the personal trainers and strength coaches and programs that I've seen out there capitalize on what's called the initial adaptation response, which is that if you go from nothing to something, you can just do push-ups and you'll get a result. Literally, the first sort of initial result that you get is just from adding stimulus that wasn't there before. And so a lot of people get away with boasting about getting an initial result. But then to take a person beyond that, that's where the magic happens. That's where you need to really start to use these principles. Okay. Supercompensation meaning stimulate with exercise, recover, and repeat. But the important thing is that you must time the next dose of exercise to be at the peak of recovery. Because if you don't, you get this recovery curve, which they call the peak of recovery, they call supercompensation effect. Then it starts to drop off. And if you haven't stimulated again, you end up losing some of those gains. But if you stimulate too early, you interfere with the process. So it's very important that you get that timing right. And we know exactly what that timing is. And there's a few variables that make it differ. So it's a little bit it's a little bit subjective based on training history, where you are in your journey, all sorts of stuff like that, your current capabilities. And the final one is program periodization, meaning vary the stimulus and training split to maximize your body's adaptation so you never plateau and reduce the risk of injury. And that comes down to, how many times you train, how quickly you introduce new stimulus. So you change up the program, usually around 3 to 4 week mark. What you do inside those mesocycles, those 3 to 4 week blocks, is it ramping up and then you're having a deload period so that your body can adapt fully? How are you treating all that stuff? And of course, on the macro scale, in this mesocycle, you might be training for speed or strength. In the next mesocycle, it might be muscular hypertrophy or endurance, and you need to undulate between those and change those things up based on specific criterion. So all three of those principles, progressive overload, supercompensation, and program periodization, are really what make up the foundation and backbone of Unity Gym and the UMS. And, we don't take, of course, we don't take credit for those principles. Those principles have stood the test of time because they work best. They produce the best results. What we do is take credit for the results they produce when they're combined with our training philosophy, which is to first optimize the technique of the fundamental lifts and the fundamental mobility movements, then build a foundation of strength, flexibility, and fitness before introducing fancy overload methods, more advanced overload methods like supersets, drop sets, trisets, all of those called the Hepburn step ladder method, the German volume training, the dense strength method, all sorts of really great overload methods that you can use to essentially improve the efficiency of your workout, get a better result faster, and progressively overload, make things harder, more challenging. And when combined with that philosophy, those three principles deliver exceptional results. And so what is the outcome of all of that? Well, what it does is it means that you can do what you want to do more for longer and move like an athlete. You can do what you want to do pain-free for longer in your life, more effectively, so you can move like an athlete, perform like an athlete. And if you want, go and deploy that into a sport, or just feel really good knowing that you've got that there. Anyway, tribe, we got to jump into our coaching call today. How good was that? A little bit of an insight into what UMS is and why it's important. I very much, you can tell the passion in Richard myself. Like, this is our life's work. This is what we do. This is what we specialize in. And, once again, the most important thing is that now this is all at your fingertips for $1.75 a day. You get access to everything. And tomorrow we're going to take a deep dive into exactly what that means. What is, what does it look like on the inside of the app? What do you get access to? And it is huge. And if you jump into the Movement Mastermind and have a look at the feedback that people are giving spontaneously, we're not asking them to do that. It's pretty impressive, and of course it's going to constantly evolve. It's not like we've released it and it's done. There's so much more coming down the pipeline. So very exciting time for us here at Unity Gym. We are really, really excited to bring this to you. It's been a work in progress, hasn't it, Richie? My God.
It has. Long time coming.
Yeah. And now we've got we've released this with 200 legacy members, membership offers available, and that includes over $1,100 USD in extra program content uploaded, preloaded into your app. And we've been inundated by our existing members wanting to, with a sense of urgency, get in there to capture one of those, but they don't have to worry. It's all included for them. All of our existing members get everything that we're offering. The 200 legacy is for new people. And we got to work this week. We got a monumental job to transition all of our existing members. There's 150 of them, give or take, into the new app. And that's very exciting. So that's what we're going to jump over and just put them at ease, give them a bit of a dose of coaching, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Take care. Hey,
See you
Jody.
guys.